In this video, Andrew Tate explains to us how we can improve our speaking skills. Strong communication skills are crucial as a man, and Andrew will tell us how to improve that skill using analysis.
How do they say you get perfect at something? Practice. But that's a lie. And you know why it's a lie? Because everyone says I'm an amazing speaker, but we've all been speaking our whole lives. Most of you have been speaking, a lot of you have been speaking longer than me. So why am I better? What's the difference?
You watch yourself. You study yourself.
I watch myself. Feedback. Study. If you don't study, you won't get better. I'll give you an example. I'm shit at chess, compared to my dad. I hover between 1600 ELO when I'm really mad, like an idiot, and 1800 ELO in blitz. I play 3-minute blitz games. I've been between 1600 and 1800 ELO for about 8 years, even though I play chess for about half an hour a day. I never get better. Why? Because I never analyzed the games. When my dad would train me, we'd sit down and do the boring analysis. Why? What could you have done? It's the analyze, it's the feedback that makes you better. Why, as a fighter, if you just spar every day, will you never be good? Because you don't train. It's feedback that makes you good at things, not practice. You have to practice, then feedback, always. And communication is one of the most important things because it's something you do every single day, all of the time. If you're going to get good at one thing, you may as well get good at the thing you do most often. And you're all talking all the time. So you may as well get good at it. So you have to analyze yourself. That's the reason I said this and ah thing. To make it difficult for you, I understand it's nervous. I understand you're up here and you're talking in front of people and it's nerve-wracking. But you should be going through your life in general, catching yourself doing it and not allowing yourself to do it. Because that feedback, it won't take long. It'll take 3 months until you find a way to just stop saying it. And it's so unique that you don't realize how many people you're speaking to who do it until you stop. It's like saying, have you ever seen a red car and you drive down the road and every car's red? When I sit and listen to somebody, I'm literally listening to them thinking, fuck you know, you've been speaking your whole life. You're a dummy, right? Because I don't do it anymore. So it's a pet peeve of mine almost. But you have to self-analyze yourself all of the time. Don't allow yourself to get away with it when you're not in this environment. It sounds like a small thing, but I'm telling you, when you can compendiously, concisely explain your point of view, when you can do what I do, which is machine gun 5 points at once, especially in a debate, it's very hard to argue against me. If you give me a minute, I've made 5 points and linked it into 2 older points, and I've hinted at a future point. And now you have to counter that. And you're like, you're a misogynist. You can't argue with me. That's why the BBC got wrecked. So you have to be very good. If I was saying on my BBC interview, it would have been over. I could have said the same things with a couple ums and ahs, it would have been over. I'm the worst man in the world. So it's battle, it's war. So I want you to all become very, very good with your speech. Because it's an easy thing. It's not difficult. It's not fighting. You're not getting hit. Stop saying stop saying ah.
How do you structure it?
You need a pause to think. So what I will do is I will either literally take a pause and stop. And a lot of that is body language to allow yourself to be given the time to do that. Or the second thing I'll do if I make a mistake is I'll repeat myself. So I'll say something like, there's an example. So I'll say. That sounds better than going, so I'll say, and I know English isn't always your first language. I know for some of you people, I'm not as hard because English isn't your first language. I completely get that. It's also the reason I refuse to speak another language because I speak English so well that I don't want to degrade. If you want to speak to me, you speak to me in my language. It's my battlefield. I win. But English is the language of the world, so you may as well get very, very good at it. And it will translate to all of your personal relationships. Your arguments will become shorter. You'll make more money. Everything is from communication. That's why I have a stick, and that's why I have a pet peeve for ums and ahs. Because it's the easiest way to just improve your overall status. Because you also come across extremely confident when you don't use and ah. You look like you know exactly what you're talking about when you don't use and ah. If I say what's 2 plus 2 and you go 4, you look dumb. If I say what's 2 plus 2 and you go 4, you look smart. The makes you look like an idiot. So it's a pet peeve of mine. I just said it's twice. I just did it. So I'm self-analyzing myself all the time to make sure I don't do that. So that's why I've said it before this, to make it hard for all of you when you stand up here and you're nervous and you start going, But in general life, try not to do it because you'll see your life improve. You'll see your interactions with people improve in real time. You'll know it.
As I'm sure you've noticed by now, the key word here is self-analyzation. Sometimes it is better to stay quiet for a few seconds to think instead of using filler words like and ah. Until next time.